Sup, I'm here if you need me. Hiya, welcome to my office. Feel free to take from my collection if you have the change. Hey, I've got some goodies if you've got the currencies. The elevator returning early was not part of my schedule. Who's forcing the elevator to stop by here? It hasn't even been an hour yet. Seems like someone really likes stopping by here. What's your deal? I just finished putting up my relics for sale. It's a lot more quiet than usual. You traveling alone? You're the only one coming from the elevator this time. Interesting. All of the hammers still function as they would, but they lived long enough to be put on display. They do carry some history, but I'd rather not get into the details. The only thing I'll say is that I'm glad I destroyed the universe after 20 months. Now that I think of it, my siblings and I were all designed to be world-ending instruments. We found some very interesting fauna on a highly vegetated planet. They were very friendly, even to Pilby. This facility used to require tremendous power to function substantially, requiring our founder to draw from himself. Now we only use the necessary amount to keep some of the common areas operational. The time I had to steal back an entire status of mind from an underground facility, and then I destroyed that universe after we rescued the objective. One less mistake on the file. If Pilby ever heard where I really come from, they would be horrified. I'd hate to say it, but the red sky is not all that beautiful. It's a reminder of something tragic. My little brother, Craig, was a very interesting one. A little unhinged in a good way, if you ask me. He was born to define the Mach family tenfold, as he could travel to worlds in the blink of an eye with all the control he has. Although he did fly right to several planets a couple of times. Did I tell you about my older sister, Laura? She could pave any world with its own nature like paint on a canvas, and harness it to tear itself apart with her own will. I watched my caterpillar friend try to do another front flip, and let's just say I had to help them recover for quite a bit. I wish I could bring Pilby here, but they're in a different district from me. Pilby was amazed at the sight of our homeworld, especially our headquarters. But they were almighty terrified of my employers since they are much, much taller than I am. In fact, taller than some kind of a concrete companion that they talk about. I don't blame them though. Even I was a little intimidated when I first met with my employers. If you're wondering about the whereabouts of a certain caterpillar-like individual, they are currently practicing the trombone somewhere else. I almost lost both of my arms during my interview. Easily expendable though, just a bit of a hassle. Sure, you can run away from an incinerator burning at 20,000 Celsius, but an incinerator burning 1 million degrees and moving at 155 kilometers an hour? Maybe that could give you a real challenge at first. We recently moved this universe out of the quarantine zone as a result of the elevator. It's nice not having to use a protective bubble that shields us from the broken reality. Those purple dinosaurs know that I reside here. They won't show up here at all. Fun fact, we installed the incinerator a later date when IHLR-6166 was first constructed. I heard of Pilby's encounter with a terrifying presence in their dream. It seems like I'm not the only one familiar with this figure. Now that I mention it, the figure hasn't returned in a while. Pilby and I collected some flora on a beautiful planet with rings during one of our expeditions. Turns out some of them are edible and very sweet. I've never seen someone as beautiful as my second employer. Compared to the rest, she's about as majestic as an angel could ever be. Simply the incarnation of destiny. This watch I have from my little brother, Craig. It was given to him by someone during one of his expeditions. It's one of the two things I have from him. I've seen artificial intelligence all my life, all of which was trying to kill me. But it's the TV at the floppy shop that stands out the most. Maybe I should lose the hammer the next time I stop by there. They looked very scared. You want to know something about my first employer? I can only win against him if he limits his own power by a huge margin. And even then, he's capable of ripping apart my hammer more than 1,000,000 times. Ran into that one doctor while I was out on an expedition. Not what I was expecting. I could surprisingly understand her. She knows a lot about that rock. And also the figure. You know, that theater-like room with the spinner is actually a trash disposal system. I installed the spinner at a later time. It seems to me that I am trapped inside a box of mac and cheese. No, the irony is not lost on me.